Turn it up. It's The Record Machine with your host, Jimi Holl.
I've been sitting around thinking about the good old days, all the good times we had, all the games we played. We didn't know what we had then, and our ignorance makes me laugh. And I'm so glad that we can never go back. We used to play those songs, make all the young girls cry, but none of those silly girls ever understood why. But later in life, you meet and they're dressed to impress, as a hot mess in a tight red sequin dress. No, you can't go back, you can't go back. You can't relive your past, you can never go back. No, you can't go back. You know your memories are wrong again. You can't turn back the clock, you can never go back. Well, sometimes we think we might go back just a year or two and try to be the way we were, do things like we used to do. But time and tide wait for no man now, that's just a simple fact. You gotta face the music, you can't go back. I still play these songs and write a tune or two, 'cause that's a part of me I'd like to hold on to. The memories are nice for a little flashback, but that's a way in fast and you can never go back. No, you can't go back, you can't go back. You can't relive your past, you can never go back. No, you can't go back. You know your memories are wrong again. You can't turn back the clock, you can never go back. No, you can't. You can't turn back the clock, you can never go back.
Ladies and gentlemen, singer-songwriter Bill Abernathy is on the program. Hi, Bill. How are you?
Oh, just living the dream. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Weather's
Good.
nice. How's the weather by you?
Well, it's Missouri, so take a guess.
I'm guessing it's probably cold.
Yeah, where are you located?
I'm in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, well, go ahead and rub it in. No, it's Kansas City's cold, but at least the sun is out. It's not snowing and it's not raining, so it could be worse.
That's good. You a Chiefs fan?
Yeah, I became a Chiefs fan. Yeah, a little bit actually. Historically, I'm a Raiders fan.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chiefs are actually attempting, in the first time in my life anyway, to win football games. So I've become a fan. They were fun to watch this year.
Very fun to watch. I was rooting for him. I wanted him to be in that game.
Well, yeah, so was I. But in sports, not everything always works out the way that you want it to work out. So,
yeah. Well, I'm a Bills fan, so I know how you feel.
Oh my God, I was a huge Bills fan back in the day with Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas and all those guys. It was they were a lot of fun to watch.
Sure were.
And to be a Bills fan and have your heart broken 4 years in a row like that is a little bit brutal.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Yeah.
So how long you been in Kansas City?
I've lived here my whole life, so
wow.
I've lived in the suburbs, and about a year and a half ago or so, I bought a loft downtown, actually in the Kansas City market area, and that's where I live now. So I've been here forever.
How's the music scene there?
Kansas City is very diverse, very diverse music. So you have, Kansas City's a bit known for jazz, I suppose, and a lot of really good jazz around town, good blues, a lot of how can I call it, cover rock, quite a few what I call tribute bands that are playing all over the place. I have several friends that play in those, and good music town. So you can find something to listen to just about any night of the week, anytime that you want. And most of the folks are pretty good musicians, and some are just outstanding. So it's great. It's a great music town.
And that's where you got your start in music, like when you were younger?
Yeah, kind of. So I had a brother who was 9 years older than me, and he was into the music scene back in the 60s and early 70s. And he really couldn't play very well. He really loved music, and he could play a bit, but was not really his thing to be a player. So when I started playing and got to where I could move around the guitar neck a little bit and sing a little bit, he used to drag me around to a lot of the areas of town, coffee shops and that kind of thing that were playing folky type music. And that's really kind of how I started getting into music. And then, he would have jam sessions and stuff. And then, a little later on, I got into a group from our church that traveled all over the United States and played and sang and all that. Did all that, and then, kind of evolved from there. So
when you were first starting out, who were the guys you were listening to? Who were the guys who inspired you to want to make you get into music?
Well, that's a very interesting question. So, and I always go back to the very first concert that I ever went to, and that was actually a birthday present from my brother, who took me to a Loggins and Messina concert way back in the day. And the interesting thing about the concert was the band's bus broke down. So I got to watch a 2.5, 3 hour concert of Kenny Loggins, who had a broken arm, so he couldn't even play the guitar. Kenny Loggins and Jimmy Messina singing and playing on an acoustic guitar, and that kind of set the tone for me. So I really love that style of music, and that's kind of what got me started. Of course, I'm a huge Dan Fogelberg fan. So
yeah, I read that somewhere. The one thing I didn't see as far as influences, and maybe he's not, but I kind of hear it in you a little bit. I don't know if anyone's ever told you this or not, but I kind of hear a little bit of Joe Cocker. Yeah,
depending on the song. Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. I think so. Yeah, I've been told that before.
Are you a fan of his music?
Yes. Yeah, without question. Love his music. Love how the expression. How much expression he uses in his music. I think it's great.
But I also read that I read in your bio that you were out of music for a while. How long were you out, and what made you decide to come back?
Well, when I was younger, I did all the music stuff and traveled around and played a lot. Then I had a bit of a physical problem with my voice. I developed some nodes and had to kind of stop playing for a bit, and it took them longer to heal up than was anticipated. And so during that period, I went and got a job, and that job that job that I took turned into, getting married, having kids, And I've actually been there now with my career with this company has been 41 years, almost 42 now. So
Wow.
been a great job, great career, great company to work for. Both of my kids, as they grew up, got really involved into sports and played a lot of really high-level travel ball during their young years, and then they both played ball all through college. And then my son played a little bit of pro ball over in Europe. So if you know that lifestyle, you know that there's not a lot of time left over when you've got two kids that are 2 years apart and they're both traveling all over the country every weekend playing ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of time left. So I wouldn't say that I stopped playing music. I would have to say that I kept writing.
Mm-hmm.
In the time that was available, I'd always make a few hours to sit around and plunk around on the guitar a little bit and write a little bit. But as far as having a time during that time of my life to really focus on music and really work on it, that was just not an option. So, you have kids, you have responsibilities. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I loved traveling all over while watching them do what they do and watching them excel and learn how to be really good people. But when they got out of school is when I kind of kicked back in and thought, I've got all these songs that I've written over all these years, and it'd be fun to go do it again. So that was my decision, and we went into the studio and started recording. So now we've got 3 albums out. Yeah.
And
The Crossing Willow Creek is the newest one. Yeah, it just came out in October of 18, so it's not been out long.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I recorded another one, an album called Find a Way, which is the one that came out in 17, and it did pretty well around. And then before that, the first album that I recorded was actually a pure acoustic album called Changes. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been listening to the new one. I really love it. I love that song "Cry Wolf," and I can't go back. That's a great one. And Yuppie Blues, I think that's a great one as well. I mean, they're all really good, but I do have a few favorites that I like to listen to. Like I play them more than the other ones. But what a great album!
Oh, thank you. We had a lot of fun making it, and one of the things that I like about Crossing Willow Creek is that it's pretty diverse, from a genre standpoint. So there's a lot of different sounds in there. I mean, just the 3 songs that you mentioned, I think that Cry Wolf has a little bit more of a rock twinge to it, probably. The Can't Go Back song is really country rock.
Mm-hmm.
And the Yuppie Blues song, we had a lot of fun with that in the studio. It's just a blues thing, and getting different musicians to come in and play different keyboards and different guitars, and there's some sax on that one, and that just makes it fun. That just makes it fun to try to play around with those different genres of music.
That's what I think makes me like this record so much, because I hear like a little bit of different genres in each song. They all don't sound the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that really goes back to the way that I write. I'm a story guy. I write stories, and sometimes those stories evolve into lyrics. Well, the story itself. This is something that I picked up from Fogelberg and actually from several of the other guys, Stills and Crosby and Jackson Browne and all those guys from that era, to use the music to accentuate the lyrics. Mm-hmm. And so my thing is to sit down and write the story, and then the story kind of evolves into lyrics, and then I look at the story and I look at the lyrics and I think, well, what would be the best genre? Is this a rock song? Is this a country song? Is it a folk song? So then I try to write into that genre. So actually the one that you mentioned, the first cut on the album, Can't Go Back, is a song that was written about back in the day, and how it's a little bit dangerous to go back and visit there, right? When you're older, and maybe just to remember and enjoy the memories, but don't really try to go back and relive that. But because that was kind of written about that time when country rock, the Eagles, Poco, all those guys were out and they were hot, I decided to write it kind of into that country rock style. And it works. We have a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant song. You won an award for one of the songs on the album, correct?
Not on this album yet. That is right. You're correct.
Willow Creek won an award, didn't it?
Yeah, Willow Creek was originally released on the first album, the Changes album, the purely acoustic album. And it did. It won some awards and got a little bit of love. And it was really the song that made me think, Bill, maybe you ought to try to do this a little bit more. But yeah, it won some songwriting awards and that kind of thing. And when we reproduced it on Crossing Willow Creek, we didn't really change it that much. Some of the other songs got rocked up and all that, but Willow Creek stayed pretty true to its original form. So I really like the song. I consider it to be kind of my theme song because it talks about how the music actually got started in my life. So pretty good. I like that song.
Now, is that the reason why you kind of put it on the new album again, because you wanted to give it another go around?
Well, it's kind of a statement, really. So, like I said, when we first recorded it, we did it purely acoustic, and the concept behind Crossing Willow Creek is to move out of this pure acoustic comfort zone that I love to live in, and produce music in different genres and different sounds and different voicings, and produce them up a bit more. And so the concept of Crossing Willow Creek is to start at that pure acoustic feel that I love, that is Willow Creek, the song, and cross over into a bigger noise, a bigger sound, more instruments, more production, that kind of thing. So it would make no sense for me to have that album and not have kind of where it all started on there.
Now, would you say that's your favorite song on the new album? And if it's not, which one is?
Oh, wow. That's a tough question to ask a songwriter, right? What's your favorite song?
It is.
Well, I don't know. It depends on my mood, I suppose. So Willow Creek is the song that every time that I play it, it takes me back to that really special place that everybody has. I think every artist and every writer has this really good, comfortable place that they like to go to when they're being creative. And I really love the song. And to be honest with you, it gets requested a lot when we play. Is it my favorite song? I don't know. It's hard to say. I had a song on the Find a Way album, actually the title song of the Find a Way album, that is about the day that my dad passed away, and it's a pretty special song for me as well. So unfair question. I'm gonna throw a flag on you, man, that you asked me a question. What my favorite song is? That's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
Or here's another question. What's the most fun song to play live?
Well, so there are several. So on Crossing Willow Creek, I really like playing the Can't Go Back song. I think it's fun. There's some lyrics in there that are fun for me to remember, right? That are fun to have a little flashback to where those lyrics came from and what those thoughts were. It's a lot of fun to play. There's also a song on here called White Night, which is a fun song to play. It's one of the more produced songs on the album, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's got saxes and B3s and lots of guitars and lots of vocals and lots of stuff. It's fun to play as well. But the guys at the studio that I work with, the musicians that I work with, will tell you that my favorite genre of music is mellow acoustic love songs. So there's also one. There's a couple actually on the Crossing Willow Creek album, but there's one particular song that's called Any Port in a Storm, which is a really personal thing for me. I have a little mantra in my music where I say, if you hear a song that sounds like it was written about you, it may have been. And this is one of those songs. This is not about me, but it's about a situation that some friends of mine went through, and how their life really changed, and how infidelity kind of messed up their world a little bit. And it's one of my favorites to play as well.
And I'm sure when when people listen to that song, they may have gone through a similar situations, so the song probably hits home for them as well.
Yeah, that happens, and that's really why I think it's fun to do what we do. That's happened several times with the Any Fort in a Storm song, but it happens more often, to be honest with you, with the second tune on the album called Changes, which is, again, depending upon my mood in the day, is one of my favorite songs. But I've had many people come up to me after shows and even, send me notes on websites and what have you, about how the lyrics to that song really helped them, because they too were going through some pretty confusing changes in their life. And some of the lyrics of that song might have helped them work through it. So that's important to me. Yeah.
Another one I like that I forgot to mention too is Meant to Be. That's a great one. Can you talk about that one a little bit?
Well, it's an interesting story. Meant to Be actually started in 1976. It was a note that was written in a yearbook, right, from someone that I had been friends with, and we'd been out and what have you, and it didn't really work out, but she had written in there that, someday if it's meant to be, it will be. Well, I had taken and written down just a couple of lines and stuck them in the yearbook. And probably much like everybody else, it's not something that I went back and revisited. I don't go and just look through my yearbook, right? But we were working on the album, and I was actually in Canada working at my real job, and I needed a song, a pretty lovey song, and there was an event going on where a reunion was being planned, and they were doing this all on Facebook. And I kept getting these friend requests from people that, I don't remember those times all that well. One, I'm old, and number two, I like to say I had a pretty good time in the 70s, and they may have been a little bit hard on me. But I got out my yearbook, and I'm trying to figure out who these people are, that I'm getting these friend requests from. And lo and behold, I get to the page, and these lyrics fall out, and it's like 2 or 3 lines of the song. And so on my flight back from Canada, I finished the song, and that's how it turned out to be. It's meant to be. Very pretty little song.
Well, I guess it was meant to be that you went back to that yearbook and started reading in the pages and found that stuff, right?
Now, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right? So, a lot of people would think that songwriters are real organized and everything's all in a row, and all that's really not the case, at least for me. So sometimes just things happen, and that one happened to just fall out of the yearbook, and I thought, well, look at this. How can I run with this? So it was fun.
Yeah, I talk to a lot of people and who write songs, and they tell me they could be anywhere at any time, maybe driving, in the shower, in the bathroom, wherever. And if something comes to them, they just start jotting it down, and whatever becomes of it, becomes of it. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes, it doesn't go anywhere. But, I guess you can't stop your mind from thinking and creating, a song, because anything I guess you can, use any kind of situation to write a good song, right?
Yeah, it's about inspiration, right? So I have to have some reason to sit down and write. But to your point, sometimes, when you're sitting down and writing, there's an element of just kind of powering through it, right? So you just work and you work and you work, and you try to figure it out and structure and all that. But then sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes you just don't get the words; they just don't come. Mm-hmm. And I've always found that one of the ways to get past that is to walk away. And just get away from it for a few minutes. And on one particular song that happened to be on Findaway album, I was powering through, right? I was trying to be the professional songwriter and just work through it, and it wouldn't happen. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to walk away for a few minutes and go take a shower. And I actually wrote the chorus and the bridge with soap on the shower wall, just saying, while I was in the shower. So wow. I think sometimes it's better to just walk away. I've had other songs where it won't come to me, and I've had to go someplace, and you get in the car and you drive, and all of a sudden, boom, there it is. So you bust out your phone and you record something on your phone so you don't forget it. So you never know where it's going to come from. That's why I think that they call it inspiration, and I also think that there's a bit of magic involved with the writing process. I don't think we all know where it comes from. I think sometimes it just decides to come and visit you on that particular point in time.
Now, when you perform live, other than your own songs, do you like to do covers of maybe some of the people that you like to listen to, people that inspired you, like Loggins and Messina and Fogelberg? Do you do any covers of their songs when you do a live show?
Yeah, actually I do, and I actually put covers on my albums themselves. On each of the albums, I put at least one cover. So on the Changes album, I did a Jimmy Messina song. On this particular album, on Crossing Willow Creek, we put two. So I did a Fogelberg song that's called Icarus Ascending, which is an absolutely beautiful tune. And we covered that one. And then we also covered a pretty obscure artist that unfortunately passed very early in his career. His name was Jimmy Spears. Now, you're a music guy, so you may know of him, but his music has always been quite influential to me over the years. And so I just thought it would be great to do, my version of one of his songs, a bit of his tribute, because I think that it's important to remember where you came from and where you've been while you're going someplace else, because if you lose that, you'll probably lose your way along the way. So we did a Jimmy Spears song called Love's in Vain. Beautiful song. Absolutely beautiful song.
Yeah, that's track number 7, and the other one that you spoke of, Icarus, that's track 11. All great songs on this album. Do you have any shows coming up?
I don't do that many live shows over the course of the year for a couple of reasons. Number one, I stay pretty busy in my business career, so it's kind of hard to do. But I do shows primarily for fundraising events, so and not for me.
Okay.
So I will do shows. I think it's one of the things that musicians can do to help bring a little bit of visibility to organizations that need a little bit of help. And so I do benefit shows. I'll be doing one. I've got a couple booked, but one in particular in July. It's a cool place. Great organization. It's a youth organization that are raising money to build a new youth facility. Yeah. And but the cool thing about it is great people, great mission and good folks. But the cool thing about it is it's in this Lutheran church, right? That was built back in the day. And when they would build these German Lutheran churches back in the day, they would always build in an opera house onto them. And so this facility, this building is just cool and old and really, really cool, And so we played there a couple of years ago out of the Find a Way album. And we're going to play there again in July. And I'm really looking forward to it. But the point is that, I think that we can use what we have and what we do to help others, which I think is really why we've been given the gifts that we've given. And I think that, I don't play often. I don't play live very often, particularly in the Kansas City area. And so when I do, we get pretty good support, right? So people say, oh, look, Bill's finally playing live. We ought to go because we know he's not going to do it again very often. And so they show up and we get good crowds and people will donate to help the folks out. And so to me, that's the key. That's what makes it worthwhile.
Now, anybody who's interested in those shows, they can read about that on your Facebook page, Bill Abernathy Music, right?
Yeah, I put everything on Facebook. It seems that my generation or the people that are interested in my music are pretty active on Facebook and look at it quite a bit. So I use Facebook, and of course we have the other, social media things, Twitter and Instagram and all that. I think that, if people are interested, they could go to BillAbernathy.com, which is my website, and on there, there's some more stuff and different reviews and different things of the albums, and you can learn a little bit more about me and why I do that. And since you mentioned it earlier, here's the shameless plug. If you want to order hard copies of the CDs, if you order them from my website, I will personalize them and autograph them and send them to you. So not a lot of people buy hardcover music anymore. Everything's kind of a streaming thing. But if you do want that, we always have some pretty cool artwork involved in our projects as well. So if you order it from BillAbernathy.com, I'll certainly personalize it and send it directly to you. So that makes it kind of fun for me as well.
That's awesome. Well, Bill, I appreciate you calling in today, and let's stay in touch, and let me know what's going on in the future, and would love to have you back on the show again sometime.
No, I'd love to come back. I'm excited about where we are right now, particularly with Crossing Willow Creek. The Find a Way album, did some good things, and we had our #1 song, and it was charted for well over a year and a half, and did a lot of good things. And it looks like, at least on initial reports, that Crossing Willow Creek is going to surpass what it did. So that's exciting for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it ends up. But none of that happens. None of that happens without you doing what you do and helping people to discover, who's out there and what music's out there to be listened to and what it is. So I really appreciate what you do. And anytime that you want to have me come back and talk a little bit more, I'm a storyteller, man. I can talk all day.
All right, Bill. Well, I appreciate you calling, and thanks again. Thanks for making such great music. I look forward to hearing, what's in store for the future.
Oh, yeah, we're excited. As a matter of fact, the new project starts on Friday. So There you go.
Awesome. Well, like I said, we'll be in touch, buddy, and you have a great day, all right?
Hey, thank you, man. Have a great one.
All right, take care, Bill.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Who's crying wolf? You gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Crying wolf, we gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack that's turned to deaf ear. We've got to learn who's crying wolf. Think first, and the rest will come easy. I turn on the TV, and what do I see? Elected officials in a broken governmental machine, assuring all the masses they are building this American dream, while spending all the time debating the latest tweet. Your tax dollars at work. I turn the next channel, I see a smile so bright, spreading the gospel that everything's alright. Keep sending me your money market 501c3, a deduction for you and zero taxes for me. Hallelujah! Tell me, are you crying wolf? You gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Tell me, are you crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack that's turned to deaf ear. We have got to learn who's crying wolf. You post their howls in your media feeds to get a few likes, follows and tweets. Like sheep you follow these programmed elites, but they are the wolves and we the raw meat, and it's a feeding frenzy. We tear down the statues, hide the flags, hide the wars. But George said it right in 1984. He controls the present so we can repeat it, complicit with our alternate facts.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Are you crying wolf? We gotta recognize the thieves in the tracks. Tell me, are you crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, that we're running with the pack, the standard death fear. We've got to learn who's crying wolf. We gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Tell me, are you crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack, the standard